Here's one for you. What shocking deal did Bruce Springsteen make in 2021 that instantly put him among the highest-paid musicians in history? Wait, try this as well. Which famous female musician has been by Bruce Springsteen's side on stage and at home for over 30 years? Drop your guesses in the comments below. No Googling. I'll tell you the answers in a minute. While you think it over, I'm Dick Carlson and you're watching the Versed Masters of Music. Stick around to find out how Springsteen went from a struggling Jersey kid to building a billion-dollar music career. But to really understand how the boss built it all, we've got to start where it all began, because his early life holds pivotal moments. Few fans ever hear about Bruce Springsteen. Was born in 1949 in Long Branch, New Jersey, but it was in the nearby town of Freehold where his story really began. He grew up in a small house with a big heart, part of a working-class Catholic family that often struggled to make ends meet. His father, Doug, worked blue-collar jobs and battled depression, and his mother, Adele, was a secretary and steady provider. But home wasn't always easy. Bruce had a complicated relationship with his father, who was often distant and hard on him. He often felt isolated, unsure of where he fit in the world. At school, he was shy and awkward. He didn't do well academically, and he never really felt like he belonged. But everything changed when, at just 7 years old, Bruce saw Elvis Presley perform on The Ed Sullivan Show. That performance lit a fire in him that never burned out. Then, onwards music became his salvation. He once described hearing Elvis as a bolt of lightning through the chest. That moment didn't just inspire a dream, it gave him purpose and something solid in a life to chase. By 13, he had saved enough money to buy his first real guitar. That beat-up instrument became more than just a hobby. It became his lifeline. Bruce would disappear into music for hours, using it as a way to channel everything he couldn't say out loud. He started practicing obsessively, playing alone in his bedroom, sometimes until his fingers bled. His mom recognized how serious he was and supported his dream. That quiet support became a turning point. In his late teens and early 20s, Bruce completely threw himself into music. He started playing in bars up and down the Jersey Shore, joining bands like Steel Mill. The gigs were gritty and the crowds were rough, but every night on stage sharpened his voice, his lyrics, and his purpose. Then, in the early 1970s, came the moment that shaped everything. Bruce formed the E Street Band. It was a tight group of musicians who became more like family than co-workers. But this wasn't just about music. It was about loyalty. From the start, Bruce made it clear that when you ride with him, you ride for life. So, that bond would carry them through everything that followed. Bruce's big break came in 1975 with the release of album Born to Run. It was loud, poetic, and raw. This album felt like a movie soundtrack for every kid trying to escape their hometown. Writing the album took over a year. Bruce agonized over every lyric, every arrangement. He wanted it to sound like the last record he'd ever make. Inspired by Phil Spector's Wall of Sound, it blended cinematic grandeur with street-level grit, capturing the desperate energy of youth trying to outrun their fate. Suddenly, Springsteen was everywhere, be it Rolling Stone cover, sold-out shows, or fans who saw themselves in every lyric. But fame didn't make Bruce soft. If anything, it made him sharper. Bruce became known for his blue-collar anthem stories about working people, lost dreams, and the long roads in between. His lyrics hit home because they were honest, and he delivered them with everything he had. What really set him apart, though, was his mastery of the stage. Back then, Bruce's concerts weren't just shows. They were full marathons, often lasting over 4 hours. He rehearsed like it was life or death. Every note mattered. Every sweat-soaked moment on stage was proof that he wasn't just performing, he was living it. And from the very start, he took care of the people around him. Bruce believed in paying his band well, giving them benefits, treating them like partners instead of background players. That wasn't common in the music industry, but it was Bruce's way. Then came 1984 and everything exploded. Born in the USA wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural storm. The album sold over 30 million copies, produced 7 top 10 singles, and launched Bruce into global superstardom. But even with the spotlight burning bright, he still showed up on stage like a guy who had something to prove. By the mid-1880s, Bruce Springsteen wasn't just a rock star, he has become an American icon. His tours became global events, drawing in generations of fans who came not just for the music, but for the experience. People flew across countries to see him. Stadiums got packed out, and Bruce gave them everything he had, every single night. But behind the spotlight, Bruce's personal life has always been steady and deeply rooted. He married Patti Scialfa in 1991, who was a fellow musician and longtime member of the E Street Band. Their creative connection had sparked years earlier, but when they finally came together, it was for the long haul. Over the years, they raised 3 children, named Evan, Jessica, and Sam, while balancing fame with privacy. Patti hasn't just been Bruce's partner at home. C's shared the stage, the studio, and the journey with him. Their marriage stands as a quiet testament to loyalty, respect, and shared passion. It's an anchor that's kept Bruce grounded through every twist of his extraordinary life. As the years rolled on, Bruce's lifestyle evolved. He started investing in real estate early. His primary home is a quiet farm-style estate in Colts Neck, New Jersey. It's a sprawling property with stables, open land, and privacy. It's exactly the kind of place where a man like Bruce could still feel grounded. He's lived there for decades, far from the spotlight. Out west, he picked up a massive Beverly Hills compound. It's a multi-structure estate surrounded by trees and luxury, rumored to be worth over $30 million. The house features a home studio, multiple guest cottages, and private gardens. But you won't find paparazzi shots or flashy parties here because Bruce designed the space as a retreat, not a display. But even with the glamour of Los Angeles, Bruce has always stayed connected to New Jersey, where he was born and raised. He also owns real estate on the Jersey Shore, including spots in Rumson and near Asbury Park, where he started out. Those properties aren't just investments, they're reminders of where he came from. Bruce's love for classic American cars is well known. He owns a Chevy Bel Air, a Corvette, and several vintage motorcycles. You'll often see him riding his bike through the back roads of New Jersey. But despite all the money and fame, Bruce has never fully leaned into the celebrity lifestyle. He's still up at dawn, working out regularly, taking care of himself. His daily uniform is jeans, boots, and flannel, no designer labels or flashy watches. He once joked that off stage his life is simple, even boring, and in a way that's how he likes it. Still, the work never stopped. Bruce has performed over 2,600 shows around the world, and even at the height of his fame, he made sure his crew and band were treated fairly. Also, he always keeps a close eye on ticket prices and backstage conditions, because to him, music was never just a business. It was about building a community. In recent years, Bruce has also found new ways to tell his story on screen. His 2018 Netflix special Springsteen on Broadway offered fans an intimate, stripped-down version of his life story. It was majorly about a guitar, a piano, and the stories behind the songs. The Netflix show gave audiences a rare look into his emotional world, his family struggles, creative process, and what drives him even now. Then came Western Stars, a cinematic live performance of his 2019 solo album, filmed in his own barn. It was released as a companion film and later landed on HBO Max. These music films were reflections on aging, legacy, and identity. They showed that even in his 70s, Bruce wasn't slowing down. He was just evolving and finding new ways to connect, reflect, and prove that storytelling in any form. That's his truest gift. Then came one of the biggest moves in music history that shocked everyone. In 2021, Bruce sold the rights to his entire music catalog to Sony for a reported $500 million. That included his master recordings and songwriting rights. It was every note he'd written since the start. It was a staggering number, and it put Bruce in a whole new financial bracket. Some outlets like Celebrity Net Worth now list his fortune around $750 million, while others, like Forbes and The Guardian, estimate that he may have crossed the 1.1 to 1.2 billion mark by 2024. But ask Bruce about it, and he'll push back. He said publicly that he's not a billionaire, and he means it, because Bruce is famous for paying his band and crew generously, investing heavily in his homes, and never chasing the image of a mogul. His money has gone toward people, not just possessions. That's the kind of boss he's always been. From 2023 to 2025, Springsteen hit the road again for a massive world tour. It pulled in over $730 million in ticket sales, with nearly 5 million fans showing up to see him live. That kind of run is impressive at any age, but Bruce did it in his 70s with the same stamina, voice, and drive that made him a legend. Today, Bruce Springsteen lives a life that's both quiet and powerful. He splits his time between his longtime Colts Neck farm in New Jersey and his Beverly Hills estate. On any given day, you might find him horseback riding on his land, writing songs, in a small studio, or just relaxing with his wife Patti Scialfa, who's his bandmate and partner of over 3 decades. They keep things low-key, no flashy headlines or paparazzi tours, just long drives, quiet routines, and time with family. But while Bruce may have stepped out of the spotlight at home, his name continues to shine worldwide. He sold over 140 million albums, won 20 Grammy Awards, picked up an Oscar, and even received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's not just music success. He had a cultural impact on a global scale. More importantly, Bruce is remembered as the voice of working-class America. His lyrics always came from a real place, like factory towns, lost dreams, open highways, and even now, decades later, his themes still resonate with people who feel left behind or unseen. That's the beauty of Bruce. He's a global rock icon who can still be spotted at a local Jersey bar, drinking a beer and talking to strangers. A man with a billion-dollar career who still rides his motorcycle alone down familiar roads. And even after selling his catalog for $500 million, Bruce still insists it's not about the money. It's about loyalty, truth, and never losing touch with the kid from Freehold who just wanted to play guitar. From Freehold's dusty streets to Beverly Hills estates, Bruce Springsteen built more than a fortune. He has built a legacy grounded in truth, grit, and music that never sold out. Which part of Bruce's story hits you the hardest? His loyalty or his insane tour stamina? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're inspired, stay with us for the next chapter of Music Legends.